amazing Belle Smith. She's a mental health counselor and founder of WonderFULL.Effect. Belle, welcome to the show.
Hello. It's nice to be here.
I can't tell you how excited I am that you're here today because we are going to discuss so many different things that you are doing out there for the community of women. I just want to get right to it. So, anyhow, first and foremost, I was really moved by what you stand for and what it means for women today. I saw that you embraced confident women. So tell me, what is about confident women that inspires you?
You know, I remember, ever since I was younger, I've always been drawn to powerful women. And it's always been women of different, diversity, like different race, different religions, just different backgrounds, period. I've always been drawn to people that were just confident, like people that could walk into a room with their head held high, whether they were wearing heels or they were wearing sneakers. I've just always been drawn to that.
I know.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. I was going to ask, who would you put up there as your top number one person that you feel is very confident?
Oh, wow. Well, I would definitely say Beyonce. I'm part of the Beehive 100%. And
you go, girl.
Yes, I love her. I just love everything that she stands for. She's one of those women that shows you it's okay to be sexy, but to still be a mom and, to still have a career. You can really have it all if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. Now, as a woman myself, I've had to go through some challenging moments where it was choices such as sink or swim.
Right.
I also believe that we are very resilient. But I want to know, in your opinion, how do women become better versions of themselves, especially on the women's empowerment movement?
Well, to answer your question, I think it's important for us to realize the things that prevent us from being full, from being empowered. And so at the beginning of the year, I actually conducted a study. I would say it was roughly about 100 women, and it was random. I just gave them a survey of questions that I composed, and I asked them questions about trauma, about some of the hardships with being a woman, whether they are political or, if they're social, if they're related to family. And so what I found was that there were 4 things that women identified as barriers to becoming empowered. And one was feeling like that they don't have a voice, that they don't have a say. The second one was a lack of support. And the third one was untreated trauma, or unresolved conflict. And then the fourth one was just feeling whole in general, like with their mind, body, and spirit. And so based on that information that I gathered, and some of the things that I've realized throughout the years as a counselor, I think that in order for us to be full, those are the issues that we have to tackle. We have to feel confident enough to speak up, connecting with other women, and treating unresolved conflict and past traumas that some of us don't like to talk about, and then overall just feeling full and nourishing our mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely. Do you feel that women have that safe sanctuary to speak about those issues, such as what maybe holds them back, not, less fulfillment, things of that nature? Because you bring up some really, really great subjects that all women can identify with. So do you feel that as we are going through the empowerment process, that there are these places, or that, you yourself are creating a safer place for women not to feel that they don't have a voice, that they can come out and that they do have a voice? Because I feel, as we discussed earlier, that women need a voice. We just don't have that voice.
Absolutely.
What do you feel about that?
I I think that that now that we have, other movements that are out right now, I think that it is creating, of the comfortability and the climate to begin to speak up, but I feel like there's a lot more work that we have to do. And it's going to take us working together and networking so that we make it a norm to speak up and to eliminate that fear. Because there's a fear behind speaking up. We get labeled as being a diva or, being dramatic, attention seeking. And so that's part of the Wonderful Effect movement is to remove those, those preconceived notions when a woman speaks up.
Exactly. And I feel like you say, we get labeled as a diva or we're not strong enough. And I sometimes feel that can come from a certain perspective, maybe a male perspective, and sometimes a female perspective. Do you find that happens with women, that we get into this position that we want to label other women to where subconsciously we do want other women to succeed, but then there's that trait, could be on the subconscious level, where secretly we're not wanting them to succeed. What do you feel about that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think female rivalry is one of the things that prevent us from being full and from networking. Because let's be honest, with our society, when women are pit against each other, it creates a better narrative. And this has been going on historically. If you look at Mary Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth, it was put in their heads that they were a threat to each other for the throne. And eventually, if you study your history, Queen Elizabeth has Mary Queen of Scots executed. And then we look at, with Hollywood and like our pop culture, we have it's just a list of different women like Tyra Banks and what's her name, Naomi Campbell.
Right.
I recently listened to an interview, and Tyra Banks was saying how much she admired Naomi Campbell, but people in the industry were telling Naomi that, Tyra's coming out to get your spot. And then when the two women met, Tyra was thinking things were great, but Naomi, had this hidden agenda, and she was, doing things to sabotage Tyra. And so,
right.
I just think that that's definitely one of the issues that we face as women.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny that you brought up Mary Queen of Scots and Elizabeth, because I recently saw that special on HBO, and I was like, my eyes were, not that my eyes were wide open, but it was like, it's true, because the seeds that people plant into our brains as early as, we're walking and talking, those tend to germinate later in life. Right. And I do want to bring up this, and I was so touched this past weekend. I did see that you made an appearance and speech at the Giving Hope Again Mommy to Be event in Orlando. And I can't help but feel the importance of not just providing a story, but a relatable one at that. So can you go into your speech, a little bit of the speech that you gave that day, and why that particular story?
So, that event was wonderful, and no pun intended.
I like that, though. You did good.
So I have to give you the backstory quickly. So initially, I went in as just a volunteer. And Morgan Dickens, who you actually interviewed her, she has the Vanity Rose Boutique. She contacted me, and she was like, "Hey, Belle, don't get upset, but I kind of volunteered you to be a speaker for an event." And I was like, "Okay." I've learned now, when Morgan says something, I just go with it. So
right.
So I went to this event, and it was a community baby shower, and it was for women that were expecting, and they needed some assistance with the preparation for the baby. And so I spoke about the struggles that I went through during my pregnancy and even after. And I love telling stories, because I think we all relate more when when a lesson is told through, through a story. And so I told them the story, and it was about me, but they didn't know it was about me until the end. And so I revealed to them that I had been through postpartum depression, and how I had this whole idea of how my pregnancy was supposed to be, because I'm a planner, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that has pros and cons. And the overall message was just to let them know that it's okay to seek support and to seek help within your community and within your circle.
Absolutely. And I feel that what you spoke about, I mean, it gives me chills just to know that story. And at the end, it was about you. I was blown away by that. What I want to touch upon too here is that the future of women, it's surely in the numbers of empowering one another and unifying as one. Do you find other women-owned businesses are embracing this movement? And have you found that they're very supportive?
Actually, yes, I have. And it's funny because originally I thought that the support would come from people that I know, like, friends and family. But actually, the most support that I've received is, it's from strangers. And I have my core group of friends. I call them my tribe. And so, of course, I have that support. But it's just amazing to me how you can contact someone. That's what I've been doing. I've really just been randomly contacting people with some of my ideas and some networking opportunities, because I'll go on social media and see some of their businesses. And surprisingly, many of them, they love what I'm doing. And so I've actually had some opportunities to network with women that I don't even know.
Oh, wow. That's very good. And this brings up another point. I could tell that you're very goal-orientated and a planner. So, yeah, as you know, it is very important to always stay prepared and create a plan for success. At times, it's not always easy.
Right.
So can you tell us, what do you foresee in your organization's future?
Well, the sky is the limit. The sky is...
Yes, absolutely.
The sky isn't even the limit. Like, we're in the galaxies at this point. But my overall goal for WonderFULL.Effect is to be able to instill these core values in all women. And so I'm actually in the process of writing a book right now, and I'm addressing those barriers that we discussed. I'm addressing those barriers with solutions. I composed 4 steps to becoming what I call full effect. And full effect is a woman that's empowered, and she has the confidence to uplift those around her. She's influential. And so that's what I want to do. I want to push this empowerment movement even further than it is now. And so in the future, I see myself and ambassadors using these tools and going into schools, going into facilities that help women, like domestic violence, different places like that.
Absolutely.
To teach women.
And that is very good, very, very good, because as you say, there's a solution for every problem, as the saying goes,
Right.
And I see that, that seed that you're planting is really going to come about in full force pretty soon. And as a growing business, do you currently have any upcoming projects or events that you would like to share with us as well?
Yes, I'm super excited. September 21st in Jacksonville, Florida, we are having our official event, the Pajamas and Pearls Social. And in this social, I'll be speaking. I have a friend of mine who's also been a huge supporter and just an influential figure. Her name is Dr. Jazz Smith. And so with this event, I'll be speaking about how to create your tribe, how to connect with other women, because I think, we don't ask ourselves, like, who taught you how to be a friend? It sort of just happens. And I think, the people that we're around, our family, and there are different factors that influence that. And so we're going to, dig deep into that, into how you create your tribe. And then we're also going to look at, how to replenish yourself, looking at your mind, body, and spirit, because those are different aspects that we have to examine for us to be full. And so that's what the social is going to be about. We'll have food and games and just really sit down and have positive energy and talk about those things that might be difficult to talk about with the outside world.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a great event with, like you said, with food and great conversation. Lots of games that are being played there. I feel that this is going to be very successful for you. And I am so looking forward to seeing the results of many more of these events to come in your future. And I'm sure you'll definitely going to have it there. So that being said, when you are in the midst of doing these events and planning these events, what is the one thing that comes to the forefront of your mind as the planner for these events? What is it that you are seeing for these events? I mean, I know success comes with it, but what is that feeling that you're trying to convey to the group of women? Because there is a feeling that I see that you're trying to do. What is that?
I want women to feel empowered. I want women to look in the mirror and like what they see. And I think that is important because as women, we are the backbone of our community. So many people depend on us, our family, our friends, society as a whole. And I believe that when we feel good about ourselves, then we are able to, to bring more positivity to those around us. And so that's what I want women to feel. When they attend WonderFULL.Effect activities, or when they think about WonderFULL.Effect, I want them to associate that with being empowered.
Absolutely. And I just by you talking about this, I feel very empowered. Just by talking with you and having this conversation today, I have to tell you that it was so great to have you on the show today. Thank you for empowering women and shedding light on those few things that women face on a daily basis that really they go unseen and unnoticed. And I do want to just, before I stop here, I do want to share with you one of my very fondest empowering statements, and it's by the great late Maya Angelou, is I stand as one, but I come as 10,000. And that to me is the most profound statement that she's ever written, and I truly, truly adore that. So again, Belle Smith, I want people out there to go to her event this Saturday, September the 21st, 2019, of course, in Jacksonville. Now, tickets can be purchased by going on the website. I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to do a little spelling here. It is www.wonderfulleffect.com. That's www.wonderfull.effect.com, and click on RSVP. Belle, thank you again for joining us. It was so great to have you on the show. I look forward to many more shows with you in the future.
Thank you for having me. Hi, it's Belle Smith. Just a reminder, WonderFULL.Effect is having a Pajamas and Pearls social Saturday, September 21st, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Jacksonville, Florida. Join us as we listen to Dr. Jazz and Miss Diamond Duval about how we can all be better versions of ourselves. Today is the time to unify as one. Like the saying says, you can't help others if you can't help yourself. This event will speak about topics that go against social norms, of silencing women, and instead enable us to break that glass ceiling that keeps us from being empowered. Tickets can be purchased at www.WonderFULL.Effect.com. And again, that's www.WonderFULL with 2 L's, effect.com. And make sure you click on the RSVP button. Thank you, and stay wonderful.
This segment is sponsored by Global Resources Organization, where innovation meets possibility. For more information, please visit www.globalresourcesorganization.com.